When you have a positive self-image, you are more likely to have self-confidence. Success is not something that you seek for, rather, it is something that you attract to yourself. The key to success is to choose a comfortable environment to reside. Therefore, rather than going for it, you focus on improving yourself. Developing one's own personality. Who or what is the source of one's self-confidence? The best piece of guidance I can offer you in this regard is as follows. Not ignoring, first and foremost, the daily practices that are rather minor. When you have a positive self-image, you are more likely to have self-confidence. And at the end of the day, knowing that you gave it your all and that you did your best is one of the finest ways to feel good about yourself. Whenever you presided over a gathering, you did the very best that you could. In the event that you made a phone call, it was the most excellent phone call that you could perhaps make. A letter that you wrote was not a casual letter, rather. It was the best letter that you had ever written. You will begin to experience an increase in self-confidence as you reach the end of those kinds of days, when you feel good about yourself. You should be aware that if you are able to have a day like this, you will be able to have another day like this the following day. And those days eventually turn into weeks. And those weeks eventually turn into months. In addition, the month transforms into a powerful year. As a result of not being neglected, one develops self-confidence. It is possible to cultivate self-confidence by ensuring that you do not overlook to engage in the everyday practices that are quite minor. Confidence in oneself is vital to one's overall wellness. It is certain that I will be in good health. Every day I consume one apple. I take a circle around the block. The beach is where I go to do my jogging. At the end of the day, when you have really put in the effort and you've accomplished everything that you set out to do, your self-confidence will develop. Your health is impacted by your level of self-confidence. It has an impact on your future. Your psychology is impacted by it. Yes, this is the case. Confidence in oneself is one of the most powerful abilities. Possessing self-confidence is being willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish one's goals. On the other hand, there are others who say, well, I'll do it for a little while and see what happens. In any case, I'll give a few different ideas a shot. Should it not be successful, I will leave this place. And we are all aware that a person like that does not have much of a life ahead of them. But if you are prepared to do whatever it takes, you can succeed. It is necessary. And if there are a few things that I need to learn, I will study them. If I had the opportunity to learn 5 or 6 things, I will get all 6 of them. In the event that I am required to attend an additional class, I will choose to do so. On the off chance if I am required to read the books, I will do so. If it is required for me to consult with others who have more knowledge than I do, I will conduct the necessary consulting, regardless of the circumstances. I will do that in order to begin developing an incredible amount of self-confidence. Capacity to rise above one's surroundings is another factor that contributes to feeling confident in oneself. To be able to rise above what occurs. All of the insignificant details. The things that are disheartening and would cause the ship of everyone else to sink save for yours. That would be enough to convince someone else to give up first thing in the morning, but you continue on. That kind of determination to triumph over any and all challenges presented. In spite of the fact that it may be the smallest or the largest of obstacles. I guarantee that this kind of power will have a positive impact on your life if you are ready to put in the effort. Furthermore, it will have an effect on you, the variable in question. Once upon a time, someone made the statement that if you were to take all of the money in the world and distribute it equally among all of the people, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. What a miracle. Success is not something that you seek for, rather, it is something that you attract to yourself. The key to success is to choose a comfortable environment to reside. Therefore, rather than going for it, you focus on improving yourself. Developing one's own personality. When it comes to the job, the most important question to ask is not, what are you getting into? When it comes to the job, the most important question to ask is, what are you becoming? To be clear, the most important question is not how much money I am getting here. The most important question is, what am I going to become here? Because the achievement of one's goals does not guarantee one's pleasure. The things that you become are the source of your happiness. At the age of 25, Mr. Schof assigned me a number of jobs, but this one was probably the most challenging of them all. To tell you the truth, I'm still working on this one. In my opinion, it is a struggle that never ends. You are the most important factor in determining your better future. This one, along with a lot of other things that I didn't have completely figured out, was one that I didn't have figured out for a significant portion of my life up until this point. Back in those early days, there were a lot of things that used to baffle me. When I was younger, I used to be perplexed by the fact that two people might work for the same company and one get twice as much money. It used to be a mystery to me, as you can see. In addition, it's possible that they were the same age and had graduated from the same school. One of them makes $1,000 per month, while the other one makes $2,000 per month. They both reside in the same community, work for the same firm, and offer the same products and services. They both have the same traffic and the same problems. I was perplexed by the question at the moment. Why is it that this lengthy list is the same, but the amount of money is twice as much? Specifically, I inquired about the distinction between $1,000 per month and $2,000 per month. And I'm not referring to $1,000 every single month. Am I right? Yes, I am able to figure that out. But what exactly is it that differentiates the two? Why would one individual be able to succeed twice as well? It's 3 times as much as that when it comes to economics. Now, I am aware that there is more than one approach to achieve success. You have my understanding. Where does the difference lie, however, in this minuscule and specific domain known as compensation? As for me, I was attempting to reason it out back then, despite the fact that my thinking was flawed. It seemed to me that perhaps the passage of time would make a difference, wouldn't it? The fact that some people have more time allows them to do better. I used to say that Harold should be able to achieve well in anything he does. He has a great deal of spare time. I could do well if I had all of Harold's time to devote to my work. Surely that is a ridiculous thing to do, right? To begin, you are unable to obtain the time of another individual. One time, a guy told me, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money. He was referring to the fact that I could. I told you to forget about it. There is no such thing as spare time. When the clock strikes 12 o'clock midnight, that pretty about sums up everything, doesn't it? In other words, you have a little bit more time to look around the gongs there, but it is already finished. You ask the person, "What are you doing?" and he responds. To quote him, "I'm looking for some extra time. They're going to come and take you away." Isn't it clear? At this point, there is no more time. Now, if you are unable to acquire additional time, which you are unable to do, what are some ways in which you may acquire additional time that would result in a change in the economic outcomes? This is the most important word. Ensure that it is included in your note. Value is the actual word. In addition, I have a brief phrase for you to take notes on. The difference in outcomes is determined by the value. What makes the difference is the value. Even though you can't get more time, you can make more value for yourself. This is the first lesson on economics that you will learn. The concept of a dollar should be taught to everyone as soon as they reach the age where they are able to comprehend its meaning. What you should do with it, how to earn one, how to get one, how to retain one, and how to keep it. The first lesson on economics comes. Value is the primary factor that determines how much we are paid. That is the first lesson. Contributing something of value to the market. There is no other way to get paid. This time is not compensated for in any way. I am aware that it takes some time to deliver value to the market, but you are compensated for the value you bring, not the time you spend doing it. Assuming that this is the case, I will now present one of the most important questions of the evening. Is it feasible to become twice as valuable in the market and to generate twice as much money in the same amount of time? Is that actually doable? Would it be possible for you to earn 3 times as much? In the same amount of time, you can make 3 times as much money. Are you able to do that? If that is the case, then the answer is yes. Doesn't it usually come down to if? The big if is a common name for life. This is a quote by Harry Truman: "Life is iffy." What a fact. This is the most important question that we are going to think about tonight. It is feasible to achieve significantly greater results in the market if you go to work during the majority of the day. To yourself, with the primary goal of understanding how to work on yourself. For the past 24 years, people have inquired about it. How does one go about achieving a higher than average income? The solution is to elevate oneself to a level that is above average. Make sure your handshake is better than average. Some people have the desire to achieve achievement. Not even an effort is made to improve their handshake, no matter how simple it would be to begin with that. It was acceptable to them. They are unable to comprehend. Create a smile that is above and beyond the norm. Create a level of excitement that is above typical. Develop an interest in other individuals that is above and beyond the norm. Develop an intensity that is above ordinary in order to win. Look, that will completely alter everything. One of the most aggravating experiences that one can have in their lifetime is looking for a job that pays above average without becoming an above average person with the goal of achieving above average salary. It is referred to as frustration. And when I first met Mr. Shoaff, he provided me with what was arguably the most important clue he ever offered me. Jim, he advised me, if you want to be prosperous in content for the rest of your life, all you need to do is study this lesson thoroughly. The advice that he gave was to learn to put in more effort on yourself than you do on your career. After that, Mr. Shoaff provided me with what is very likely one of the most significant hints. These were just a few of the numerous things that Dad taught me, but this was back in the beginning. In spite of the fact that he was so kind, Mr. Shoaff was also rather abrupt. On top of that, he had a number of intriguing questions to ask. When I was talking to him one day, I was giving him a brief recap of how things had not gone as planned for me. I have the answer for you, Mr. Owen. If you will listen carefully, he replied. I have the answer for you that day, as well as for the next 5 years. I paid close attention to what was being said. You are obligated to pay attention to someone who is prosperous in content. He commented, Jim. I've only known you for a short period of time, he stated, however, that it is already my honest view that in order for things to change for you, you are the one who needs to change. Exactly what I was seeking for was not the solution that you provided. This is the response that he provided to me. In addition, I am passing it on to you. In order for things to come about for you, alteration is required of you. If not, then the situation is not going to alter. Prior to my encounter with Mr. Shoaff, I would often say, I certainly hope that things will change. Do you agree? The only hope I had appeared to be in it. Things is going to be a really difficult situation for me if things does not alter. Afterwards, I came to the realization that it is not going to alter. Therefore, I am in a very precarious situation. When it comes to the 1980s, I can tell you exactly what they will be like. You are in the right place if you have arrived here. There was a time when I delivered a session in Honolulu to the executives and management of Standard Oil. Also, we are going to hold a meeting on this enormous conference table at some point in the future. In addition, one of them told me, Mr. Rohn, you are acquainted with a number of people who are fairly significant halfway around the world. What are your thoughts on what the decade of the 1980s will be like? Gentlemen, I am aware of the appropriate individuals, I stated. You can depend on me. As a result, every one of them paid close attention. And I said, gentlemen, based on my extensive knowledge, I can truly honestly say to you that in my judgment, in the 1980s, it is going to be approximately the same as it has always been around since the beginning. Do you not feel happy that you came? Is included therein? That is not something that I just pass around everywhere. It goes without saying that I told you that in order to make a point, but I also told you that because it is true. In the same way that it has always been, it is going to continue. The situation is not going to alter. What happens after the tide begins to come in? That is the case. Since the beginning of documented history, which dates back around 6,500 years, and most likely longer than that. In other words, there will be no change. After the sun rises, what happens next? It is getting dark. More than 6,000 years have passed. See, there is no chance that it will alter. It is not appropriate for us to be surprised by that. In the event that the sun went set, the individual would ask, what's happened? What's happened? It indicates that he hasn't been here for very long. Is that correct? This is the time of day when it always goes down. What the guy has to say is, well, I don't like that arrangement, to put it another way. You need to talk to someone other than me, right? At first it is bright, but gradually it becomes dark. What is the following season that follows the fall season in the rotation? It is winter. In all seriousness, how frequently does winter come after autumn? Every year, on a consistent basis for the past 6,500 years, as far as we are aware. You can see that it is not going to budge. Now there are winters that are long, winters that are short, winters that are difficult, and winters that are easy. However, they invariably appear immediately after the falls. The situation is not going to alter. Sometimes you are able to unravel the mystery. On occasion, there is no way to find out what is going on. Sometimes things work out well. At other instances, it becomes tangled up. At times, it moves along smoothly. The situation can sometimes be reversed. As you can see, that is not going to improve. A look at the last 6,000 years reveals this. A combination of opportunities and challenges. In that way, it is written. The situation is not going to alter. When asked about it, the man responded, well, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change if you are able to modify? Answer. It doesn't matter if I'm speaking to high school students or executives in the corporate world, the message I convey is always the same. And it goes like this. Only until you get better will things start to improve for you. There is no other way. Life does not appear to want to waste success on those who are not adequately prepared. This is what life says. Why would you want to spend a fortune on this individual? There is a lack of readiness on their part to make appropriate use of it. They are not ready to execute it in a prudent manner. This unprepared individual would most likely be unable to make good use of whatever fortune that was placed upon them. Those individuals who could have been touched will not be touched in any way. Due to the fact that this riches will have been wasted on the individual who was not well prepared, what could have been done will not be done. Prepare yourself and ask yourself, what can I do to make myself ready? Not only should you look for good fortune in the promise, but you should also look for the promise itself. It is important to keep in mind that life was not intended to provide us with what we desire or what we require. Rather, it was intended to provide us with what we are entitled to receive. There is a price that must be paid for everything in life, and those who will pay are the ones who will receive it. It is said that those who give will receive. The words I wish to receive are spoken by someone. Receiving is not something that requires your full attention. Just learn to be a generous person. It is written that those who search will indeed discover. Well, I need to find some good ideas to help transform my life for the future. Someone says, I need to find some good ideas. In addition, it is not because you require them that you are able to come up with fantastic ideas. That is because you look for them that it comes to you. It is necessary to actively seek out good ideas if you want to have them. You are required to attend the workshop, the training, and the class. You are also required to attend the workshop. Will you please go to the book? It is necessary for you to visit the journal, isn't it? Find a place where you may learn about good ideas. You should go looking and searching, for the reason that good ideas are not going to be thrown away. Prepare yourself to be ready for fortune when it comes to being ready for challenge, when it comes to being ready for opportunity, when opportunity comes along and goes by the person who is not well prepared. On those who are not seeking, searching, and well prepared, therefore prepare yourself to be ready for opportunity. My goal for this year is to get myself ready for the following year. I do have the intention of being successful this year, but I am also considering other options. What does it mean to be better? What may I do to make my thoughts more persuasive? How could they be made more distinct and distinct? What are some ways that I could talk to certain folks the following year that I might not be able to talk to this year? Some people have not been impacted by me because I have not gone far enough into my own soul. Some individuals simply walk by and comment, hey, that was a remarkable speech. Is there any way that I could make it more powerful than that? More profound than that? Do you have more power than that? I am unable to be as powerful as I could be in the following year. You are aware that you are unable to go to the 10th grade and the 5th grade at the same time. You just need to go through the grades. But the more prepared you are when the 10th grade eventually arrives, the more that you will be able to cash in and earn 2 times, 3 times, or even 5 times more value from it because you were prepared. Let's go on to the following one. Self-sufficiency is a powerful attribute to possess. Self-reliance simply means that you focus your attention mostly on yourself. It would be wonderful if someone were to simply hand you this, and this with no further explanation. It would be wonderful if everyone carried out their role in the manner in which they are expected to carry it out. On the other hand, here is what you need to do. First and foremost, trust on yourself. First and foremost, I am the person responsible for this. In addition, I will acquire the abilities that are required in order to assist other individuals in acquiring their skills. If I need a large number of individuals to carry out specific tasks in order to expand my organization, then I really need to have that. But it is necessary for me to serve as the last backup. I am the last person that people can rely on, and I have to be that person. In order for me to be able to catch up in the event that you miss both of these things, I am able to fill the void. I am able to complete the task. When it comes to holding meetings, we are required to do it. When we are conducting training, we are required to do it. It is necessary for us to do it when there are only a few of us in the class, because someone might have missed it. We have come to fill in for you. Reliance on oneself? In the first place, we are going to teach you how to rely on yourself so that you may accomplish this. Never complain, and when you do, never explain. This brings us to the third essential force, which is image. There are several components to consider. The image that other people have of you is the image that you have between yourself and other people. Furthermore, how other people perceive you is of utmost significance. It is highly likely that people will not pay attention to you if they do not perceive you to be a leader. If they do not give you the impression that you are in charge, there is a good risk that they will not trust you. What is likely to happen is that people will not follow you if they do not see you to be aware of where you are going and what you intend to achieve. Nevertheless, if others are able to see you, if you have the image of someone who is in charge, they are in control. They are in control of your life, your future, your destiny, and they are in control of the situation, then that sort of image is powerful. It contributes to the success of the day. Other individuals are drawn to it. People have a strong desire to be in the company of those who are not only powerful but also confident in their ability to exercise their authority. However, they are aware of how to make use of the influence they possess. Having an image like that is very significant. However, I would want to present you with a very significant image, which is your idea of your future. A person's self, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they think, and their ability to learn are all important aspects. All of that constitutes an essential version of yourself that you have in your mind. If it is something that has to be learned, you have the ability to learn it. The image that you have, in the event that there is a book that needs to be mastered, you have the knowledge to do so. In the event that there is a skill that needs to be mastered, why are you not able to get engaged right away and learn that skill? I have that kind of self-image in which I never stop working hard to become the finest version of myself that I can be. Mostly due to the fact that seeing into the future is one of the most significant locations you need to look. Indeed, you are required to investigate the past. Indeed, you just need to take a peek around. Indeed, the mirror, on the other hand, is one of the most significant locations you need to look at yourself. You are aware that how I appear to other people is also significant nevertheless. How I appear to myself is of the utmost significance. It is the kind of image that will allow you to develop the self-confidence and self-reliance that you need. This is yet another one of them. The next word is character, which refers to the maturation of a person into a person of great values and ideals. One who is trustworthy, one who is worthy of respect, and one who possesses that kind of character. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate the kind of character that people perceive within you, such that they perceive you to be honest, fair, willing to do what is right, willing to be helpful, but always willing to walk the center line and not to pass the line. This is yet another one of them. This is referred to as self-discipline. Discipline of oneself? Every single one of us faces a difficulty with that. For the simple reason that it is sometimes simple to relax and let go. And this is especially true when you are exerting a lot of effort and doing the very best that you are capable of.